This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Missy Kohler. News 25, local news you can count on. Today's news is brought to you in part by Dr. George Leeks, Pahrumph's optometrist since 1990, offering full-spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson. This segment of the news is brought to you by Silver State Health, bringing quality medical and psychiatric care to Pahrump. Call 775-505-1214 for an appointment.
Welcome to News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
I'm Missy Kohler. Happy Monday, February 15th.
Well, the Senate acquitted former President Donald Trump in his second impeachment trial Saturday, voting that Trump was not guilty of inciting the deadly January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. The verdict went along party lines except for the 7 Republicans who decided to find him guilty and now report that they will have to pay the price for crossing those party lines. The final vote was 57 guilty to 43 not guilty, short of the 67 guilty votes needed to convict. Mitch McConnell voted not guilty, but then said in a press conference that he blames Trump for the attack on the Capitol. Many Republicans believe that the impeachment trial was unconstitutional because it was done after Trump left office. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced in a letter to House Democrats today that her plans are for a creation of a 9/11 type commission to investigate the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol.
Kyle Bickerstaff was shot and killed last summer after what authorities say was a botched robbery. Kyle's parents say he's no criminal, and they want to set the record straight, so they're offering a reward, hoping someone comes forward with new details about their son's death.
22-year-old Kyle Bickerstaff was shot and killed in the early morning hours of June 24, 2020. The Nye County Sheriff's Office says its investigation found that Kyle and a friend from high school, Nicholas Von Ost, conspired to rob 17-year-old Cameron Culbertson. Investigators say after all three got into a vehicle, Bickerstaff and Von Ost pulled guns on Culbertson in an attempt to rob him. But authorities say Culbertson eventually ended up with one of those guns, then shot and killed Bickerstaff in what the Sheriff's Office says was an act of self-defense. Von Ost is behind bars awaiting trial for his part in the alleged robbery. Culbertson has been sentenced to 2 years for concealing or destroying evidence related to the shooting. Kyle Bickerstaff's parents maintain their son is no criminal. They want to shed more light on the events that led to Kyle's death, so they're offering a $5,000 reward, hoping someone who knows something about what happened that night will come forward to help clear their son's name.
My son had $5,000 on his bank card, and he had his own weapon. He has he was waiting for his concealed carry license to come in the mail. So there's no reason for Kyle to rob anybody. I mean, this is a good kid who pays his bills and goes to work every day. There's something missing, and this is why we put the reward out for information, because things aren't lining up, and we feel like there's more. I feel like there's kids out there that are either scared to come forward because they're afraid for their own lives, or they don't want to be involved because they don't want to be considered a snitch. But they can come forward anonymously, and if it was you and if it was your mother who was looking for answers and they know that you didn't do this, wouldn't you want them to have those answers as well, just like we do? And Kyle didn't deserve this, and we just want to know the truth. He graduated at 16. He's very, very smart. He went on to college at 16 and 17 and then decided to follow in his dad's footsteps as a plumber's apprentice. And he's been doing that for the last 5 years.
Because the case is ongoing, Kyle's parents haven't been able to speak to Von Ost or Culbertson about what happened, and while they aren't certain why Kyle was in Pahrump that night, they suspect he was meeting up with friends to celebrate his 22nd birthday, which was June 23rd, just hours before his death.
He had no reason to come up here and do what he did, and as far as what they're claiming happened, we don't know why he was here. To say that he just teamed up with Nick, I feel is unfair. So we're here to say that, there's things that everybody needs to know, that he wasn't a criminal. He didn't just wake up on his 22nd birthday and say, I want to go and do an armed robbery on somebody. It just doesn't work that way.
He was my son, and I worked hard to get him where he is. He wasn't a criminal, and I know that. So
I just want answers so that we can have closure, so we can move forward with our lives.
yes, we just want the truth. That's what we
And
want.
my other children are heartbroken. Please, if you have any information, please come forward. You can call 775-537-9477. That'll put you directly through to me. And then if you would like to stay anonymous, you can also call the Nye County Sheriff's Department, and you can ask for Detective Fancher.
And Detective Wes Fancher has said that he's still investigating this. If you would like to give him a call, 775-209-3846. And you can, of course, remain anonymous. That's 775-209-3846.
We'll be back with more News 25.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on. This segment of the news is brought to you by Pahrump Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 10,054, open to our veterans and our community. Stop by or give them a call.
Welcome back. Well, a man arrested for leading deputies on a pursuit that ended in a rollover was sentenced in Judge Wonker's courtroom.
On June 11, 2020, Adrian Macklin Hicks of North Las Vegas was arrested after leading deputies on an OHV chase that ended in a rollover. Deputies first observed the OHV at Comstock and Blag after he sped past them. As deputies attempted to catch up at the intersection of Blag and Calvada, the OHV appeared to be doing donuts and swerving from lane to lane. At the intersection of Blag and Gamebird, it appeared the OHV would come to a stop. As deputies approached the vehicle, the driver, identified as Macklin Hicks, took off eastbound on Gamebird. The pursuit came to an end on Pahrump Valley Boulevard when the OHV lost control and rolled onto its side after swiping a vehicle that had pulled over to yield to deputies. Macklin Hicks was arrested for driver disobeying a peace officer where persons or property are endangered and a probation violation. Macklin Hicks was represented by attorney Andrew Fritz, who asked for probation. Fritz stated that his client had turned his life around. He said that he is living in Las Vegas and working a full-time job. Macklin Hicks apologized to the court, saying he has changed his life around and took full responsibility for his mistake and running from the police. The court also learned that Macklin Hicks is currently on federal parole. Judge Wonker was displeased that although Macklin Hicks' drug test that day was negative, he had some tests come back positive for alcohol and marijuana, despite court orders not to use on condition of release. The state argued that Macklin Hicks had a history of violating parole and probation. The state's recommendation was to send him to jail and get him off the streets. Judge Wonker said that although she hates to see him lose his job, she really thinks sending a message is important. He violated the condition of his release, and that is unacceptable. Judge Wonker sentenced Macklin Hicks to 364 days in Nye County Detention Center, suspended, probation not to exceed 1 year, and 30 days in jail for contempt of court for his failed drug test. And Tiffany. Nye County Director of Public Works Tim Dahl gave a general report to the Board of County Commissioners at the February 2nd meeting. He detailed some of the projects underway in the county.
We're working still with Nevada Department of Transportation on the Tonopah sidewalks. We're still working through the motions with NDOT to obtain a permit to repair the Tonopah sidewalks. So that's still on our radar as priority number one here in Tonopah. We're working still with Pahrump Valley Boulevard. That's a capital improvement plan project that we're working on. We received back the soils report information, and we're starting the process of designing the road so that we can have a better idea of what it's going to take to build that thing, and obviously costs associated with that. We're working down there with the fairgrounds. We are overseeing the contractors' work on the flood control project down at the fairgrounds. So that's on.
All right. Well, February is American Heart Month, a time when we're reminded to care for our hearts. But according to a recent survey, many Americans are putting their heart health on the back burner due to fear of contracting COVID-19. Erica Foreman has more.
COVID-19 has been hard on the heart. A Cleveland Clinic survey finds just over half of Americans pursued medical care for worrisome heart issues during the pandemic.
People are not seeking medical advice, and they are staying at home despite the fact that they have significant symptoms even heart-related symptoms or not heart-related symptoms.
Results show 1 in 3 people with heart disease have stopped taking heart-related medications, and 65% have put off checkups or screenings due to fears of contracting COVID-19.
This is not a good idea because the blood pressure, cholesterol can go up, and if you ever contact COVID, this kind of situations can make the outcomes even worse rather than better. So filling medications, taking medications regularly, having proper lab work to check if the medications are working or not, all these are very crucial steps.
Survey participants say they've gained weight during the pandemic as well, with a quarter gaining more than 20 pounds.
It causes insulin resistance, it causes cholesterol to go up, it causes joint-related problems. So the weight gain in all terms, cardiovascular health or in general health, is not a good outcome.
But results aren't all bad. About 30% say they're exercising more and eating a healthier diet.
We all have a little bit more time, a little bit more opportunity to control our lives because we are at home, we are able to control our daily activities a little bit better. So if you look at it positively, you can invest in your health a little bit more and be even healthier than in the past.
At Cleveland Clinic, I'm Erica Foreman.
Well, according to a survey, about 85% of Americans say they fear contracting COVID-19 at the doctor's office or hospital. But Dr. Capadilla says healthcare facilities are taking precautions to keep patients safe. He adds, care for chronic or emergency issues should never be ignored.
We've got more News 25 coming right up, so stay with us.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by Canyon Ridge Periodontics. Give them a call at 702-966-0302.
Welcome back. When an innovative music program for disadvantaged kids was first faced with COVID-19, it seemed to some it would be impossible to continue. But the Harmony Project people did not miss a beat. Check out their success at keeping this California-born but not nationwide program going. Kim Martinez reports.
Each child recorded their individual part on the violin or the flute or the trumpet. And on the back end, the adults kind of spliced it all together and put it together. So you'll see some of the teaching artists, some of the students. It's really, really cool.
These virtual concerts are the result of the pandemic meeting the resilient spirit of the Harmony Project, which brings the gift of music to disadvantaged kids.
The goal of Harmony Project really is to provide music access to kids who can't afford lessons or don't have access at school.
Pre-COVID, the concerts were in person and were always a big yet worthwhile production for the Harmony Project staff. They've grown in popularity from what started in Los Angeles back in 2001 to now 7 U.S. cities. Students are given free instruments, weekly lessons, and an opportunity to participate in live concerts in their communities. Jimena Ramos has played the viola since the 3rd grade, thanks to the Harmony Project.
It's not just a program for music, it's a program to better yourself. And not only that, but learn new things.
But then the pandemic hit.
I have to admit that I never thought teaching music online would be possible. But very quickly, we learned how to do it.
Moving all of their students to virtual has meant a teacher in Miami may have students from Phoenix or New York in a lesson, but it's all working.
The Harmony Project really took up with it and said, no, we are doing this. We're going to keep going with this.
I do think it's a core piece of our lives, the arts. You know, it's the thing that always gets cut from schools.
But not this time. Refusing to let COVID cut their life-changing program, the devoted people at the Harmony Project say their work is simply too important. Kim Martinez reporting.
To learn more about the Harmony Project and see if there's a program available in our area, go to harmonyproject.org.
Well, if you're thinking about adopting a dog or a cat from a local shelter, we have some ideas. For today's Save a Pet, we're back at Desert Haven Animal Society, where we meet Goldeneye.
Today's Save a Pet is proudly sponsored by Jason Ernest with Mountain West Lawyers. Call 775-727-9500.
Hi, I'm Darby here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are joined with Goldeneye. He is a German Shepherd mix, we're thinking, maybe even a little bit of Husky, I'm not sure, but he has a really beautiful light beige coloring, really white chest and under tummy area, and he got some pointy little ears just like a German Shepherd. He's obviously very friendly. This hasn't even been a whole 2 minutes into him coming out into this yard, and he came up saying hello. He's super sweet. He doesn't obviously want you to see his little cute face, but oh, there you are. Super friendly puppy. Definitely want to go and spend a little bit of time with him in the yard, even though he is friendly and he will approach you immediately. But go and give him the opportunity to go and do his business, play a little bit, so you can see the full extent of his cute little personality. If you want to come and see Goldeneye or any of his friends here at Desert Haven Animal Society, please give them a call ahead of time to make an appointment. 775-751-7020, or you can look them up on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society. Come here. Come here. You gotta turn around so people can see your cute little face. Do you want to say anything to them? Good job.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. Happy President's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. And as we look out the weather window today, what are we seeing? A flag blowing majestically in the breeze. Well, it's President's Day. It's great. 9-mile-per-hour winds today. It's going to kick up like crazy here coming up in the next week. But at least we're not the Southern Plains states. What a mess there. Missy Deanna will tell you all about that. We'll tell you about the whole weather all around for the next week when we return.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. Today is Chris Farley's birthday. Born in 1964, great actor, great comedian, guy that made me laugh so hard I nearly peed, so we miss him. Up in Fernley, 54 degrees was your high today, 32 for a low. Out in Fallon, it was 57 degrees, 32 for a low. Carson City and Tonopah, you're both sharing the high spot, chill spot award with 51-degree temperatures on the high side. Carson City, you're looking a little better on the low side tonight at 32 degrees because Tonopah's got 28. Still the chillest town in Nevada. Don't you want Tonopah? Get yourself up there. Goldfield, 55 degrees is your high today. 29 for a low. Out in Beatty, it's 59 degrees. 39 for a low tonight. In Amargosa, where the wind comes whipping down the plain. I love Amargosa in the springtime because it's 63 degrees. And 41 for a low. Out in Las Vegas, 65 for a high today. 49 for a low. And if you want to heat up, why don't you head on over to California. Death Valley's got 73 degrees for a high today and 51 for a low. Here in the paradise of Pahrump, where everything is always groovy all the time. 60 degrees is our current temperature. That's pretty groovy. 62 was our high today. Winds out of the south at 9 miles per hour, feeling pretty good. Actually, not too bad. Humidity this morning, 28%, kicking up towards the evening, but it made some nice clouds as the sun rose this morning at 6:30 a.m. And it's setting right now. If you look outside, it's 5:25. Yeah, it should be setting right now. We'll be heading down to a low tonight of 42 degrees. Winds still tame at 9 miles per hour, but that humidity kicking up, and so will the cloud cover. And let's look at what happens when that happens. Oh, my goodness. Time for wind to blow out all those clouds. Wow, look at this wind we've got. 25 miles per hour, 19 miles per hour on Wednesday. Thursday, it's going to calm down for just a little bit, give us a respite before the weekend. And then the big blow on Saturday, also 17 mile per hour winds. High temperatures staying in the low 60s, and coming up in a week, wow, it'll be back up to like 72 degrees. So things to look forward to, a little blow, but then we get some clear skies and heat. It's going to feel like a desert paradise, tell you what. All right, let's go back to the desk. It's Missy and Deanna.
Well, all of our thoughts are with everybody over there in the southeast who is dealing with that weather happening over there in Texas and Chicago, Missouri,
Louisiana, everywhere, yeah. These storms causing delays in COVID vaccine delivery, and we're expecting to feel that here in Nevada as well.
Yeah, Nevada Health Response is saying that we may have a delay in our delivery of our vaccines because of that storm. Of course, we'll keep you posted. And we want to wish a very happy birthday, 25 years to Darby. And we hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Good night. Good night.